You could see the chisel marks where the quarrymen had dressed them 200 years ago. Alice and Kazim stood peering through the French windows. The interior seemed to be a vision of another world, its stillness pregnant with meaning, like a room seen in a mirror. The rooms were still furnished with her grandparents' furniture. Wallpaper glimmered silvery behind the spindly chairs, upright black-lacquered piano and bureau. Paintings were pits of darkness suspended from the picture rail. Alice had told her therapist that she dreamed about this house all the time. Every other house she'd lived in seemed, beside this one, only a stage set for a performance. Kazim didn't care about not getting inside. Vaguely he was embarrassed because Alice had made a fool of herself. He wasn't sure how long he would stay anyway, and had only come to get away from his mother, who was anxious because he wasn't studying. At the end of his first year at university, he was bored. He imagined he could smell the room's musty old age through the glass. The carpet was bleached and threadbare where the sun patched it. When he found a cheerfully shabby grey Renault parked on the cobbles beside the outhouses, he called to Alice. Alice didn't drive and couldn't tell one car from another, but looking inside, she knew it must belong to Harriet, her older sister. There was a box with maps in it on the back seat, and next to it on a folded newspaper, a pair of shoes neatly side by side, with one striped sock tucked into the top of each. "I know exactly what she's done," she said. "Arrived here and left the car and gone straight off for a walk before the rest of us got here. She's that sort of person. She loves nature and communes with it, in a principled way. She thinks I'm frivolous." The little display of ordered privacy made Harriet seem vulnerable to Alice. It touched and irritated her. "Perhaps your sister forgot her key too." Harriet's never forgotten anything in her life. Because they couldn't get inside the house, Alice felt obliged to go on showing things to Kazim. She took him into the churchyard through a keyhole gap in a stone wall in the back garden. Her grandfather had been the minister here. The house and the church stood together, on the rim of a bowl of air scooped deep between the surrounding hills, and buzzards floated on thermals in the air below them. The ancient stubby tower of the church, blind without windows, seemed sunk in the red earth. The nave was disproportionately all window by contrast, and the clear, old, quavering glass made its stone walls appear weightless. You saw straight through to the green of trees on the far side. In the churchyard, the earth was upheaved as turbulently as a sea by all the burials in it, and overgrown at one end with tall hogweed and rusty dock. Her grandparents' grave, red granite, still looked shiny new after a quarter of a century. Her grandfather had been very high church, Alice said. Incense and the authorized version and real hell, or at least some complicated, clever kind of hell. He was a very educated man and a poet, a famous poet. Kazim was studying economics. He didn't care about poetry, though he didn't care much about economics either. Loose-jointed, he ambled after Alice round the churchyard, hands in pockets, only half interested, head cocked to listen to her. Alice always talked a lot. Kazim was very tall and much too thin, with brown skin and a big nose lean as a blade. His smudged black eyes drooped eloquently at the corners, the lower lids purplish, fine-skinned. His blue-black hair was thick as a pelt. He was completely English, and unmistakably something else too. His paternal grandfather, a Punjabi judge, had been married briefly to an English novelist. Now, Alice was worrying that he would find the country tedious. Somehow this hadn't occurred to her when she'd invited him in London. What she loved best in Kington was doing nothing, reading or sleeping. It was obvious now they'd arrived, that this